Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Slice and Dice Dreadcast, episode 49. I'm your host, Joey Colombo, coming in from Brooklyn, New York. Just heard myself talk in the video in the other window, and it sounded weird. Things are going to get a little weird tonight as we take a trip to Planet Tommy. But before we do that, let's introduce our host. First, coming down south via Brooklyn, New York, my man, J Mac.
What's up, everybody?
I know he sounds like, but he is not the porn star. Kick it over to our man, Mr. Bill Casanelli.
Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight?
All right. And slide on over to our newest co-host, the man, Mr. Venom, Jerry Cortez.
Greetings and salutations, listeners. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
Damn good.
Joey, you sound like you rapped that intro.
I rapped it?
Like, I saw myself in the shelf or something.
I in the other window over there, it has the video because in case anybody pops up into the chat to converse, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just heard it again. Somebody else got it going down.
That was me. I clicked on the fucking thing quick. I didn't know my external speakers are on.
Clickety clackety. Speaking of that, Jerry Cortez, you just took a trip to the Exploding Heads.
Nice.
Yes, sir. My first appearance on Exploding Heads. Very excited. I had a 3-hour erection.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sure because you know Jerry Herring's there and
Exactly what I was going to say.
Fucking trannies was all up in the mix for a nice while.
Something about those gingers, man. They do it for me.
It's because they have no souls.
Here's a drinking game for you guys. Every time Jerry Herring says blowjob, take a drink.
we would die within an hour.
Yep, we'd be done. I put it on in the car, like I was driving my daughter to my mother's house.
Oh, boy.
And then I was like, nope, this cannot happen. You know? So I had to shut that off real quick till after I dropped her off.
Yeah, not exactly family-friendly programming.
No, I don't think any show on Horrorphilia is. Maybe Watson, because he beeps out the curses.
There you go, yeah. It's so weird, because one of my podcasts is clean, and I have to bite my fucking tongue constantly.
I couldn't do that if we were getting paid for this shit.
Yeah, no.
I can't.
Luckily, it was the very first podcast I was ever on, so I got used to it, and then I started doing Horrorphilia stuff. So. Because if it would have been the other way around, forget about it. They'd have kicked me off after 2 episodes.
Still, it's got to be quite the honor to know that Brandon considered you one of his favorite podcast hosts.
That was actually surprising. I had no idea. I've spoken to Brandon a couple of times, not on podcasts, just like on little Skype calls that we have every now and then with between some Horrorphilia hosts.
And don't you do that show with him? I thought you did that one show.
Which one?
It's called Underwater Hi Jew.
Oh no. Well, it's better than Hitler's podcast, which would be Underwater Die Jew.
And we just started and already went there. All right. Way to go.
We've already lost all our Jewish listeners. There we go.
All right.
And
That's
my wife
Brandon and Jeremy.
I'm about to get a text in a minute.
Yeah. I heard that.
I love you, hun. Not Attila, hun. But what are we doing tonight? We got The Room, Tommy Wiseau's fucking mega hit, I guess you could call it.
Sir, address it correctly. Masterpiece, sir.
Yeah.
Masterpiece. You heard that, Neil Lemoy? Hashtag masterpiece, capital letters.
Uncle Nudie.
Uncle Newt. So we got that, and then we also, of course, have to pair that up with this. I can't even say it straight. The Disaster Artist. I have to say it like not from Brooklyn. The Disaster Artist comes out like I'm talking gabagool, you know.
Nice.
So The Disaster Artist and The Room. The Room, DA Room.
The Room.
But before we get into that, let's kick things around, do a little bit of Phil Perone house cleaning here. But first, I'm gonna send you a picture of my dinner tonight.
It's Perrin, by the way.
That is definitely true. It is Perrin. I'll see you in Nash Vegas, buddy. I'll be up there soon. Any hoots, what do we got going on? We got episode 50 coming up in 2 weeks from today, and I have no idea what we're doing. Because we decided to do it where we'll each take an episode and do picks. So J-Mac has that episode. Bill, this was your episode.
Yes, this is mine. But to quote Star Wars, whatever J-Mac's got up next, I've got a bad feeling about this.
I definitely don't know what's going down yet, and I can't wait to hear it. But before that, just like I was saying, we got the shift going around for every episode. J-Mac got 50, Cortez on 51, I'll be 52. So this one was Billy's. His pick, he'll tell why in a bit. But that's going down. So, J-Mac, what do we have in store for our 50th episode?
We are gonna do all 7 movies in the Rocky franchise. No, I'm just fucking around.
Hey, I'll take that.
I was just waiting. No, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I just wanted to see Joey's face when he figured out how to watch 7 movies.
8 if you include Creed 2, right?
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, fucking 8.
I've never seen Creed or Creed 2.
Creed, they're good. We need to do them eventually. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch Menace to Society.
Nice.
And we're gonna pair it with John Singleton's Higher Learning.
Oh, Bill. Sorry, buddy.
I knew it.
Bill,
I knew I'd be in hell.
all right?
That-
You pick the room. You're not allowed to complain about anything.
I'll watch anything for a fucking show.
There you go.
He does have a damn good point. Higher Learning. Wow, I haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah, man. I didn't want to do Boys in the Hood with Menace to Society. People might think it's a little too similar or whatever, but Higher Learning is one I like. And Michael Rappaport's in it, Bill.
I was just gonna say your boy Michael Rappaport.
The brain damage guy from fucking True Romance.
Yep.
And Deep Blue Sea.
You also got Larry Fishburne up in there.
Yeah, when he was called Larry, not Lawrence.
Fucking Tyra Banks' first acting role.
Dude, she is gorgeous. I love her. I don't care what people say about her.
Jennifer Connelly, of course. One of the
She
leads.
was gorgeous until Requiem for a Dream.
Well, this is 95, so it's pre-rec.
All right, pre-rec. I like that.
She was doing her pre-recs. Oh, Professor Joe. Anyway, so Higher Learning and Menace, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
Who directed Menace?
Menace is the Hughes brothers.
Alan and Albert Hughes, right?
Oh, the guys who did From Hell. The Jack the Ripper movie.
I know what you're talking about, but I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw that actually.
I didn't hear the greatest things, so I never jumped into it. Yeah,
Based
I
on
always
a comic. It's good.
Well, let's see.
I haven't seen Book of Eli either, but I think J-Mac told me that was good ones.
Book of Eli is fucking great.
It's written by an ex-editor of PC Gamer magazine, actually, Gary Whitta.
Nice. Man. Excellent. So I'm looking forward to that. Episode 50. Finally get Bill to watch Menace to Society. Looking to see his reactions to that. It's great. We'll see.
I think he's going to love it.
I might. I don't know. We'll see.
I think he's going to love it too. I have a good feeling. See, he's not like Don. Bill likes, good cinema that's not horror.
Yeah.
Like The Room.
I'm open-minded. How's that?
You're definitely open-minded. So, in your cinema going, you're open-minded. But if Mike Merriman was on right now, we'd be having a totally different conversation. But we'll save that for another night.
You're saying I'm not the one?
I'm saying I love you both. 2 coconuts. But 2 dangling coconuts. But we got that next episode. We're going to get to the Room and Disaster Artist in a moment. But first, we did a little something this weekend. We went to the movies, except for Bill. But he will be. Oh, the earbuds are off. We're going to discuss a little movie. You might have heard about it. It's called Us.
Give me a hand when you guys are done talking, all right?
All right. That's the way to do it. So we did a podcast together, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Yeah. As many of the listeners know, who, if you follow me, one of the podcasts that I'm on is called No More Room in Hell. That podcast has a sister podcast called Fresh Cuts, where we concentrate only on the newest genre releases, be they theatrical, VOD, streaming, wherever we can find them. We tend to do an episode a week. So if you haven't heard that, that's available on the Horrorphilia Network. Check that out. But yeah, we saw us. I, like a glutton idiot, saw us 3 times in the theater. There was just so much to unpack. After watching it the first time, I knew I really, really liked it, but I had a couple of issues with it here and there with the quote unquote twist. But after watching it the second and third times, yeah, it's easily my number 1 movie of the year. I have a very strong suspicion it will stay in the top 5 pretty much regardless of what comes out. For the mere fact, I mean, the movie's great, obviously, but just for the mere fact that there's so much there to discuss and talk about and dissect, that it's something that you're going to be talking about for a while after you see it. But yeah, that was fun, Joey.
Yeah, that was I unfortunately had to bail about 2/3 of the way through, but you guys held the fort down 100%. So yeah, you could check that out to hear mine and Jerry's thoughts about the films, but I'm really curious to hear what J-Mac thinks about the film.
Oh man, I watching the trailer, going into it, I was thinking like they gave way too much away in this trailer, but I wasn't disappointed when I seen it. Like I didn't expect it to go the way it did. At times I went with the wife and kid. My son loved it. He's starting to get his feet wet a little more with this stuff. In the past I've talked about why I try to steer away from the ghost shit with him, but this he fucking loved it. He had his all his theories about the music in it and all kinds of stuff going on. I don't want to get too spoilery. I know Bill, he's pretending not to listen. But but yeah, man, it was awesome. And everybody I know that's seen it is talking about how much they love it, except for one person. If any people enjoy pornography, Nikki Delano put on fucking Twitter that it was horrible and she doesn't understand how it's gotten the rating it did.
Wow. And
I'm thinking like, maybe you're just not intelligent enough to understand it. And that's not a knock on porn stars, because I feel like in a past life, me and Christy Mack were like best friends. So fucking I just think some people they're not gonna get it,
Yeah. The thing about this movie though is that even though I'm sitting here thinking about all the different layers that can be peeled back and discussed, you can take this movie at face value. If you're not one of those cerebral type moviegoers, just watch the movie at face value, take it for what Mr. Peele presents to you, and I think it's still enjoyable. I just feel like there's so much to discuss about it afterwards, and it gives it that replay value that is really invaluable when you're talking about movies. And yeah, the movie came in at what, 70.2 million for the weekend, which was the highest grossing opening weekend for an original horror IP. So that was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, the film is definitely going to get studied. I mean, he says everything is deliberate. So, when you go back and you comb through it, you can go from everything from the technical aspects, camera angles, sound, acting, dialogue, all that stuff. You could go into the subtextual backdrops of symbolism of things in the background, like just the opening shot alone, is of the television with the movies on the side, right? So all that stuff it's just a nonstop throughout the whole thing. Easter eggs that, double up with meanings into film, into specific themes. It's all there. It's all packed in, And like we even had, a debate about this, a minor debate, Jerry, where you were like, it's not about, racism. It's more about classism. And I agree. It's definitely more about classism, but there's no denying that is definitely embedded in there. You know what I'm saying? From little things like he's wearing a Howard sweatshirt. You know what I mean? And look at the juxtaposition of the family and that he's dealing with, and what he says about, I don't want to give too much away, but what he says about all the materialistic items and where they're living in, it all has to do with that. It's unlike Get Out, where it's like right in your face, you know? So it's there. It's not that it's not there, and it's not the number one message out of it 100%. But I just wanted, because I didn't get a chance to really talk about that much on the show because I had a bail. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick, you know?
Yeah, ultimately, anyone's interpretation of this movie is valid. There are so many different ways that you can go with the information that's provided in the movie. That, I mean, I've heard 8 different podcasters give 8 different opinions, and they're all valid. Even I may not agree with all of them, but they're all legitimately valid theories that, should be taken just as seriously as your own. So, yeah, like I said, Peele seems to be a master of creating these movies that have us talking weeks after we see it. And if he continues that, he's going to be a master in no time. I know there's a lot of people that are already calling him a master of horror. 2 movies is a little early in a career for me to start throwing out terms like master. Right. But he's definitely well on his way. And obviously we've got the Twilight Zone coming, and he's also doing the Candyman remake. So, I mean, the skies are looking really bright, and I'm very excited. I'm going to definitely follow everything he does. And I want him to become that master of horror, quote unquote. Like I said, he's well on his way. And of all the up and coming young horror directors right now, he definitely has a head start on all of them. So
hell yeah,
he's hitting every audience, man. Like he's got the people, like you were saying, if you just want to look at it for surface value, how enjoyable this is. But if you want to go to the fucking, pretentious douchebaggery that gets Joey hard, that shit's there too, man. Like if you want to sit there and analyze the fuck out of every goddamn frame of this thing, you could and find all kinds of crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and if you are planning on seeing it in the next couple of weeks or whatever, just be very mindful of what you're looking at. Look at all the different, look at the sides of the screen, look at the top, and definitely listen to the audio of dialogue that's happening off screen, because there's even Easter eggs there. There's one particular line in the very opening scene that occurs off screen that kind of connects the movie to another famous 80s movies that was also shot in Santa Cruz. So I'll leave that one for dangling there for you guys. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there is so much. If you are one of those meticulous movie viewers that, listens to every little, dissects every single line of dialogue and, tries to define what every single piece of furniture or whatever, or artwork in a frame means. I mean, this is a movie for you. This is definitely a cerebral movie, but like I said, if you're not that kind of movie viewer, you should still enjoy it. At least I think you will.
Yeah. Can't wait to get back to it for another viewing where I could just pause, really absorb it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get to see it again in theaters. I gotta try to squeeze it in somewhere.
Mm-hmm. All right, should we jerk Bill back in?
I'm not jerking Bill shit.
Billy.
There he is.
Hey, yeah, that's a fucking sign he knows, man.
What's a sign I know?
The old wing wang woodle. The wang dang doodle.
A flogging of the dolphin.
Choking of the monkey.
Damn, I had my hands full, but
well,
a little flipper in here.
I am the master of the solo orgy, so.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Nice, man.
That's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
There you go. T-shirt company. All right. So
what I miss?
Nothing. We just bullshitted about us for 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes. I approximate, but yeah. Might have been longer. But yeah.
Cool.
How you doing? What'd you do that time?
I was sitting here with my earphones in my hand, smoking a cigarette.
Oh, okay. All right.
Took a piss, got some beer,
Oh, okay. All right. No doubt. So, shall we get into anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything you've been up to? Anything new?
I think I told you guys, I had bronchitis, missed a day of work this past week, and it was my short week of working, so I was only scheduled to work 2 days. So I had a nice little break from over there, and I watched all kinds of shit. I checked out that Netflix original Triple Frontier. Really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
That was Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, Ben Affleck, fucking Poe Dameron. I can never remember that kid's real name.
Dameron.
Poe Dameron on it. What was Oscar Isaac? Is that
yeah,
Oscar Isaac,
I know it's like two first names, Oscar Isaac. Kim, the kid from Jax from Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, Jax from Sons of Anarchy's in there, and somebody else. But anyway, yeah, that was real good. Enjoyed that. I watched that fucking was it Forgetting Neverland or Leaving Neverland?
Oh,
bro, that shit was rough.
I hear it's biased though and fake or something.
I heard that the two dudes who did it are like, you know, the two of them happen to just be bankrupt right now, and some people are saying they was just doing it for a money grab. But
yeah, that's what I heard.
I mean, I think it's fucked up that it came out so long after this dude's dead, where he's not really here to defend himself.
Right.
But with that being said, like I was expecting just like, oh, you know, we were molested. Like these fucking dudes get into like graphic detail about shit that happened to them. And one of them was like 7 years old when the shit happened. You know, it's disturbing to a fucking point. So
yeah, I do want to see it.
But yeah, I mean, it's worth checking out. It's fucking long. It's like it's 2 parts, and each part is like 2 hours and change.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, I mean, they start from when like
talking about
how these 2 kids met him. Like they kind of each tell their story. One of them fucking my high school girlfriend was a huge fan of fucking NSYNC, so I knew this kid as the choreographer for fucking NSYNC. But when he was a little kid, he was in a little kid rap group called Quo. That was out, and they were like trying to like match like Criss Cross's fucking fame, and it just never fucking happened. But I remember because they sampled a Redman song on like one of their like, I guess you'd call it their hit, but I remember seeing the video of them as kids on the shit. But anyway, fucking so I recognized the dude from that, and he was like 7 when this shit started. And you know, it kind of both of them tell the story of how they met him, and then like he groomed them and their family and like wined and dined their parents and all this shit. And it was fucking pretty fucked up, brutal shit.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Man. Yeah,
I don't know. So what I've been watching recently was the show called The Act that got released on Hulu about Dee Dee Blanchard's death by her daughter Gypsy Rose.
Yeah, I followed that crime when it happened. I listened to a lot of true crime podcasts, and that story's fascinating.
That's how I knew it. From
Munchausen by proxy.
Yes, so I knew that from Sword and Scale, right? And
exactly. Yep.
You bring that up too, guys. What do you think about that getting canceled? What?
It's not canceled. It's just off Wondery.
Oh, it's off for a while because.
No.
New episode just came out. They got a new host. I just got the one on Patreon.
A new host, really?
Yeah, there's a female host now.
Man,
fucking over a fucking meme. I mean, really, enough. But I don't want to talk about that shit. You derailed my whole thing, Billy.
Oh, sorry.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Yeah, we talked about that on No More Room in Hell.
Yeah, we did talk about that on No More. What the hell was it?
Gypsy Rose.
Oh yeah, so
The Act.
Yeah, so I watched the first episode, right? So that was Sunday night. Sunday morning, I'm getting ready to go to teach modern drama, and half hour before class, I just, I've been reading Amadeus, and because I'm about to start teaching that, and I'm just like, yo, I could teach The Act. That's modern drama if you think about it. Like all the scenes with her and the mother and the neighbors. I mean, you look at the dialogue, the camera angles, color. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. The Joey-isms is the art. I could pull it off in the classroom, and I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. So I asked the class, because people bought the book Amadeus. They were like, "What? Yeah, they'll probably watch the trailer in like a 6-minute. It was on not 2020 maybe, a little clip, and they were on board, yo. So I'm bringing that into the classroom. The Act on Hulu. So that shit was fucking. At first, I was like, "Wow, it's so creepy knowing everything that's about to unfold," and it works. Like the acting is good. Patricia, I didn't even fucking realize it was Patricia Arquette until after when I started looking it up and shit. Phenomenal. I thought it was fantastic. So I mean, it was the first episode was fantastic. We'll see where it goes. Did you check it out yet, Cortez?
I have not.
So definitely,
I don't watch a lot of TV, a lot of episodic like series. I don't know. I'm weird that way. It's like I like my entertainment in little packages. You know, give me an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I can walk away from it. Not to say that I don't watch any. Obviously, I'll watch the ones that like everyone is watching. You know, the Haunting of Hill House and Castle Rock and stuff like that. But there's just so much good shit on TV, man. It's so hard for me to find the time. Plus, you know, being on like 44 podcasts and then trying to find time to watch TV is just not easy.
tell me about it. Like I was watching it with my wife and I compromised on the act. Like, all right, we'll watch this because I don't watch many TV shows either. You know, watch my Goldbergs. You know, a couple of sitcoms. But what I watch mostly is when I come in the basement, like before I get started on anything, I put on the TV, and around 9 o'clock is Al Bundy, 10 o'clock is Sanford and Son, and then 12 o'clock is Good Times. I would fucking rather watch that shit. Like just pop it on and watch it. Commercials come on, play a fucking guitar for 5 minutes. But anyway, we're getting way too fucking on tangent here.
Yeah.
But, so the act and J-Mac, a high recommend for Losing Neverland.
Yeah, man. Or whatever it's called. Forgetting Neverland, Leaving Never, some shit like that.
Yeah, Leaving.
But yeah, man, I think it's definitely worth checking out.
And an extremely high recommend for us.
I got one too.
What you got, Billy?
I watched The Dirt on Netflix.
Hey, I want to go like the figure.
Dude, I am a huge Motley Crue fan.
How was it?
It was amazing. It was the book.
Podcast listeners, Jerry Cortez just shook his head back and forth.
Oh no,
it was a bob side to side, so it was like maybe
it wasn't. I haven't seen the movie, but I was just what do you call it? Reacting to Bill being a huge fan. I was a fan of Motley Crue for like a week, I think, when I was in high school. Nothing against them. It's not like I disliked them or anything. It just, you know, I was listening to a lot heavier shit by the mid '80s.
Dude, I discovered Metallica right after Crue.
Yeah.
My band.
Like once, what do you call it? Theater of Pain. Once Theater of Pain came out, I was kind of done with Motley Crue.
Two good songs.
But yeah, I mean, Shout at the Devil, great album, classic album.
Girls. Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, see, by that time, I barely even, they were barely a blip on my radar.
Gotcha. I hear you.
Yeah, nothing against them.
What album is Kickstart My Heart?
Girls. Oh, no, that's Dr. Feelgood.
No, it is Girls.
Nope, Dr. Feelgood.
Really?
Yep.
I could swear it's Girls. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't own Dr. Feelgood, and for some reason, I thought I owned the album with Kickstart My Heart on it.
I'm more of a damn Yankees fan.
Yikes. Man, I like Ted Nugent until he went just crazy Republican on us. He's a fucking psycho now. I got no problem with Republicans. I don't want to make this discussion all fucking political. But I follow Ted Nugent on Twitter. Do you guys follow him? He is one of the most, next to Trump, he's the most entertaining Republican out there. Just the shit that comes out of his mouth is so fucking hysterical. It's like I don't know whether to be terrified or amused.
The only thing I listen from Ted Nugent is Stranglehold and Cat Scratch Fever. That's about it. It's as far as I go with the Nugent.
And damn Yankees.
And damn Yankees, yes.
Yeah. The Dirt. Big thumbs up. Loved it.
Thumbs up.
I watched it with my 15-year-old daughter, mistakenly. The movie starts off with a girl squirting.
What?
Yeah.
Good times.
You were putting on a movie about Motley Crue. Would you expect?
Yeah. But she's a big 80s fan. She loves metal from the 80s, so.
That was awkward.
But yeah. Oh, that's one of the many scenes.
You ever see? You like 80s metal? You see that Anvil documentary?
No.
Oh, that fucking movie is great.
Huh.
This is Anvil, I think's the name of it. Yeah, dude, if you get a chance, check it out. And don't watch it with your daughter or son.
No.
Because that one's got a whole lot of penis.
Yeah.
Whoa, full frontal baby.
Yeah.
Giggity.
But it's a very entertaining documentary.
You know that
really
G.G. Allen documentary?
Oh yeah, watch that with your kids.
What is it called? Scat Cat Fever? Cat Scat Fever. Yeah. Let's throw it on my audience.
Ah, Jesus. I actually had the chance to go see him too when I was younger, and I blew it off.
He's dead.
Well, yeah, not now, but I'm talking
call.
80s. Yeah,
Good call, Jerry, blowing it off, man.
And you know what? No, it seemed like it would have been an experience either way.
It would have, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get hit with a beer bottle or,
right.
Or some, bald guy slap me with his tiny penis. But I just, I do regret not going to that.
But you're safer seeing Gwar. At least that shit's made of fake stuff.
Very true. Very true.
J-Mac, you saw Gwar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen him a lot.
I've seen him a couple times.
So we've all seen Gwar. Yeah. That's awesome. That makes me happy right now.
The Power Station in Melbourne, Florida.
Where did I see them? The Basement in Rochester, New York.
Nice.
I guess we're saying we're Starland Ballroom, fucking Sayreville, New Jersey.
How the hell did we get to Gwar?
Well, here's one.
The beauty of Slice and Dice.
When I saw them, the band that opened for them were called the Ex-Cops. It was Gwar without makeup, each playing a different instrument.
That's
Dave Brockie was playing guitar or bass, I forgot, but dressed like a cop.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Playing the same kind of music or different music? Yeah.
Fake punk. It was great.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
I got to see them kill OJ on stage.
Nice. They killed George Bush on stage.
Yeah, I saw Bush because
nice.
Off.
And they had like a pig cop on a skewer.
Yep. That was the one I saw.
Cannibal Holocaust style.
Gore. Yeah. Good band. Good show. All right.
Did you ever see that, J-Mac? Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, once.
That's a
while back, yeah.
Once.
It's brutally beautiful, though.
That's what I say about a Serbian film, and no one listens to me.
Oh, it's a beautiful movie, dude.
Bill would agree with you. I would highly disagree with you.
I think that movie, aside from the debauchery, you got to get past all the crazy shit. But if you get past it, it's got beautiful cinematography, great direction, good dialogue. It's legitimately a good movie.
It's a well-produced film, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I understand.
One.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I won't. I own the uncut Blu-ray, and for the most part, I won't even let people borrow it. It's like, no, you don't want to see that.
Nah, you don't want it.
People they hear the legends, they hear all the talk in the community, and it's like, oh, I want to see this, and it's like, nah, because you got to realize there are two different stages of your life. There's who you are before you saw a Serbian film, and then it's who you are after you saw a Serbian film, and you're just a completely different fucking person. So I'm not going to do that to my friends.
Did you see that one, J-Mac?
No, I kind of got the gist of it before, you know, when it came out, and I was like, this ain't for me.
Do you want to?
I didn't I don't mind scary shit or gory stuff, but certain things I just I never bothered watching the Human Centipede movies because I knew
those are kind of tame compared.
Compared
to that shit.
Don't get me wrong, it's definitely cringeworthy, especially part two.
Though the second one is very gory.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, of the three, absolutely. That second one is great. I love that they shot it in black and white.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh,
hell yeah.
That aesthetic is so great. Blood, I don't know what it is, why blood looks so good in black and white. I don't know. I can't even put my finger on it. I just love the way it looks.
I'm so grateful it's black and white for the laxative scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And the poor baby, poor newborn in the car. Terrible.
Oh, it's so fun though. It's you got to take it like a comedy.
You really do. Yeah, don't take it so seriously.
He's trying to offend you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one is a pretty fascinating film.
Another well-made. Yeah.
2 and 3, it just becomes
2 is perfect. 3's kind of
3 really starts
to be hokey.
Yeah. Still fun to watch if you're a fan. I mean, I consider myself a fan of the trilogy. So.
Oh, sure.
I saw the first two in theaters. I didn't get to see the third one in theater.
Seeing the guy from the first one,
which one? Oh yeah, the doctor.
Not his assistant, but
right. The assistant, the guy is in part 2. He's the main guy.
Yeah, that I really liked.
Yeah,
I like how in that world, Human Centipede is an actual film.
That's what I love too. It's so meta.
Absolutely.
The concept is. I think it's another interesting film, but I feel like gratuitous for gratuitous sake, but that's the whole point of him making the movie.
No, it is. But it's a message to people who love the first movie.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's bad. You know what I mean? Where I think the first one has more. Not that the second one doesn't, it has a lot of meta aspects. But the first one is more, an original concept.
Yeah,
and it's just serious. That's a damn good word.
The first one definitely has more artistic merit than the next two. The next two are just more like fun horror movies,
Yeah,
right.
If you're a gorehound.
Oh yeah. 3, Robert Lasardo.
Yeah,
the guy's stab wound.
Oh God.
Oh, I love it.
And then
and his next movie looks great. I'm actually really excited about that one too.
Me too. About the women who masturbate.
The disasters. That sounds fucking. Did you see that trailer?
What's the movie? No.
Oh, what's that?
What's the movie?
I forget the name of it. It's like the Octavia Club or something.
The Octavia Club, yeah.
That might be it. Yeah, and it's basically just a movie. At least thus far, all we know about it.
Anyway, whatever. The O Club.
Yeah. It's basically a club of women who are sexually aroused by disasters, and like the bigger the disaster, the more aroused they are.
And they get up in like clubs and like get together and masturbate.
Yeah. The trailer.
That sounds great. Sounds like it's gonna be a really, really fucking wacky movie.
Oh, it's gonna be just more Tom Six, type trash. But I can't. I eat it up. I'm ready for it.
He actually liked and Harvey Lawrence retweeted my tweet that a couple of years ago. Remember when Netflix would recommend movies based on what you like?
Sure. Yeah.
I took a picture of my TV. It said, because you like the Human Centipede 3, here's Home, which is a kid movie.
Home. Oh shit.
That was great. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Speaking of home, I used to live in a house that had one room.
Speaking of the room you lived in, what about the movie you chose?
All right, guys, let me defend myself here.
All right, here we go. Let's transition.
I fucking love bad movies. I laugh, dude. Get together with some friends, drink some beers, piss your pants laughing at these bad movies, all right? Well, this movie, The Room, came out in 2003, but I didn't discover it until about 2010. And oh boy, when I did, I had to show my friends, my family, everybody this movie. Because it takes a genius to make a movie this whack. It's not like Troll 2 bad. It's on another level. Like, this has got to be experienced. Well, shall I go into the description of the movie?
Please.
The Room, 2003. Johnny is a successful banker who lives happily in San Francisco townhouse with his fiancée, Lisa. One day, inexplicably, she gets bored with him and decides to seduce his best friend, Mark. From there, nothing will be the same again.
Oh, boy.
Director, Tommy Wiseau. Writer, Tommy Wiseau. Starring, Tommy Wiseau, Juliette Danielle, and Greg Sestero. Holy fuck. But
Whoa.
the movie is so unbearably bad that it's hilarious, but it's also well shot and it looks good. But all the mystery around this movie and how it got made, why there was a billboard for 5 years in LA, which cost $5,000 a month, by the way. Who's paying for all this? This movie cost $6 million.
Wow.
How did it get made? Who is Tommy Wiseau? What's his real name? Where's he from? How old is he? Where did he get his money?
I believe you found those answers out.
I found some.
Yeah, after Disaster Artist came out, a bunch of that information was released.
Yep.
All right. So, can we get that information? Because I'm really curious.
Well, it's not proven, but from what Tommy said, which none of what he says can be taken like as truth.
Of course, he's the same age as you, me, J-Mac, and Jerry Cortez.
He says that he had the money from selling pleather, not leather, pleather from Korea. Pleather jackets. I don't know if I buy that.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh my. All right. So I this is the first time I've seen this stuff, so I don't know anything about it, and I didn't really do any researching. I figured, Bill, you'd be schooling us because I know, from discussions you know about him and everything.
Dude, I don't even know his real name. It's not Tommy Wiseau. In fact, he won't even say where he's from. He says he was born in America. Then he says New Orleans. Then he says France. Then he says something else, right? Well, some digging reveals that Wiseau is French for bird.
Tommy Bird.
Cheap.
From the research I was able to do, it looks like Tommy is from Poland.
Well, they say Poland, right? That's
right.
The accent, but who knows?
Wow. Well, the movie is definitely a little autobiographical, and that becomes evident when you watch.
Well, actually, the movie is based on a book he was writing. It was 560 pages.
A book who was writing?
Tommy? Yeah. He was writing this screenplay as a book, and it was 560 pages, and it involved vampires with flying cars. And then Johnny was a vampire.
What?
I wish I was joking.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. So take a 560-page screenplay or book and make The Room out of it. I dare you. And then take people who aren't actors. Well, except for, I guess, Cicero, but a friend he made. And wow. All right. First impressions of this movie. I was like astounded that this was ever made to begin with. And then I saw the riff tracks and wow. This movie is still played every weekend around the world, not just US. So
yeah. When I Google The Room, it's like playing April whatever. I'm like, oh my, that's pretty bizarre.
Yeah. People have embraced this as like he's the new Ed Wood. It's not the only movie he's ever made either.
But has he made any other movies after this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he has.
Oh my. So what are these movies? What is this?
After The Room?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. He did a couple of shorts. The House That Drips Blood on Alex.
The House That Drips Blood on Alex.
Yep. Oh gosh, he did. Oh, you know what he did? He did. Oh, I wish I was making this up. Samurai Cop 2.
Yeah, he starred in that one.
Samurai Cop 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Deadly Vengeance.
yep. And he's got a movie coming out called Big Shark this year.
I'm actually moderately excited for that one.
Yeah.
I heard.
I like
that.
bad shark movies.
Yeah, Donnie will be all over it.
Oh, I'm sure we'll end up having to cover it. That's for
He's
sure.
directing it too.
Don's gonna get a Tommy Wiseau tattoo.
Yes. My favorite shark movie ever.
It's about 3 fighter fighters who got to save New Orleans from a giant shark attack.
Oh shit.
He says he's from New Orleans. Who knows?
Who knows?
Dude, he's got what Donnie's gonna cream again when he finds out that if you go to TommyWiseau.com, he sells a wide array of things, including tank tops.
Uh-oh.
No
I know what I'm
way.
getting the boss for Christmas.
Johnny Thanks.
Underwear, everything. Dude, this guy is insane.
I'm not buying the boss underwear. Tank top, maybe. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy, he's an enigma. I don't know. So to see this put onto film in his vision with his writing, it's a Polaroid of his brain. And I don't get it. I really don't get it.
It's so funny though because all right, well, I'll save my stuff for after initial thoughts.
All right.
All right, so we're pairing it up with the Disaster Artist. So obviously you paired it up with it because it's about the making of The Room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your initial thoughts with that one?
That one was everything I wanted to know about how The Room got made, but it still didn't answer my questions. I thought, I believe it was 2014. And Seth Rogen's production company bought the rights to the book by Greg Sestero, who played Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Well, turns out Seth Rogen was a big fan of the book, and James Franco took it immediately. Like, I am playing Tommy. And never saw the movie, believe it or not, when he did production of this film. But he read the book. And turns out he got the accent, he got the mannerisms from Greg Sestero, not from Tommy himself. But holy shit, if I didn't believe it was really Tommy. The movie was up for an Academy Award, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Academy Award.
James Franco never seen the movie when he did Disaster Artist?
Correct. He only read the book and listened to Greg Sestero.
Wow. That's crazy.
Why? Wait.
Greg Sestero does the best impression of Tommy.
So he's doing an impression of Greg doing an impression of Tommy, basically.
Correct. And he nailed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you look at those scenes shot for shot, holy crap. Remember please tell me you guys saw the end credits.
Oh, yeah.
Not the look, but yeah. See, so Tommy's cameo. Right? As Henry.
I don't remember who Henry was.
The guy that walked in.
The very last scene after the credits. Yeah. Did you watch the credits is the question.
Nah, I watched the credits, but then it was like them showing him next to him. And at that point, I had to run upstairs to my kid. So I figured it was just more of that.
Oh, you missed Tommy's scene, man. It's hilarious.
It's really good, yeah.
Rats.
It doesn't have any bearing on the actual story of Disaster Artist. It's just an extra little thing where fake Tommy and real Tommy have an interaction. But it's hysterical.
Oh, yes.
All right, maybe I could look it up real quick.
Yeah.
What is it called? A stinger?
Yep.
Post-credit scene.
Yeah, or just say Tommy Wiseau in Disaster Artist.
Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime, too. You can just fast forward to the end.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, but what's it called? What's it called? So Tommy didn't see the movie The Room until after he made this.
Franco, yeah. James Franco didn't see the movie.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, I see the scene. He's got the fake mustache on.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right, let's kick it off with more initial thoughts. J-Mac, first time watch.
Yeah. So I watched The Room with my wife, and she was mad at me after that.
Mistake number one.
Yeah.
Mistake number two was not watching it with the riff tracks.
Yeah, probably. But I figured I was actually putting it off because I heard, knew that it was supposed to be like the worst movie ever made. And I'm like, I fucking don't feel like sitting through the worst movie ever made.
No,
but
it's not the worst movie ever made. Go ahead.
Nope.
Essentially, this movie itself, like just my initial reaction after I watched that movie was like, this movie could suck my whole dick sideways. Fucking, I was like mad at this movie, but I was like, I wasted an hour, 40 minutes of my life. Like,
yeah.
I love, like, I kept reading about people like, oh, the best, worst movie ever made. The best, I'm like, dude, I love Plan 9 from Outer Space. Like, to me, that's the worst movie ever made that I could say is the best, worst movie ever made. Like, this was just a bad fucking movie. But then, ended up putting Disaster Artist on and ended up really enjoying that. I'm never going to sit through The Room again.
But it made you appreciate it, right?
But I appreciate the story of these two dudes chasing a dream and just the weirdness of the fact that nobody, like, why does this guy got so much money? Like, that nobody knows what he is and all that kind of bullshit. Like, I appreciate all that stuff. I appreciate the people in the room, but the movie itself, like, I can't unfathom why it is a cult classic where people go to midnight showings of the shit around the world still to this day. You know what I mean?
All right. You or Joey, either of you notice the spoons in the picture frames?
No, I didn't notice it.
Because people who go to the midnight showings throw plastic spoons.
I saw that in the
like
the credit thing on Disaster Artist, but I didn't realize what the fuck it was all about.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, he had spoons.
It's very strange to me because I've read some reviews about like it's genius how bad it is. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't, man. Like I said, the Disaster Artist movie, the first thing you see is Kristen Bell, and I love that little bitch. She's like one of my favorite little people in Hollywood. And like the movie itself and Franco playing him like was unreal.
Spot fucking on.
Yeah, it was so good, man. Like,
right.
His thing of it was so good. And like I said, it made me appreciate their story, but not enough to be like, oh man, somebody should go check The Room out. You know what I mean? Like, it's
actually
so
the
bad.
riff tracks should make you want to see it again with that. So you don't get to sit there a whole movie by itself.
Yeah.
But also, I want to add one thing with my initial view of Disaster Artist is that I've always considered James Franco as a mediocre actor at best. Like, So seeing him in this totally changed my mind on his acting abilities. He's not playing the stoner, same old type from Freaks and Geeks.
Right.
Like, I enjoy all the shit that he's done with Seth Rogen that I've seen. But
I enjoy it.
The fucking where he's the hiker and he got to cut his own arm off. Like, I never seen that, but that, like, he was up for an award for that shit. And like
127 hours, right?
You see him be able to do a movie like that, but at the same time being fucking Pineapple Express. You know what I mean?
Well, the stuff we've seen him in lately was Pineapple Express, the end of the world's, what is it called?
This is the end.
This is the end.
Thank you. That, it's always the same character. So to see this is like, whoa.
Yeah, I could see that. On one of my other podcasts, Theme Warriors, we actually did an episode on movies starring siblings, and this was my choice, was the Disaster Artist. And the main reason that I wanted to pick it was because I can't get over how the Franco brothers will be side by side in a frame, and you can't tell they're brothers.
Right.
Like, Franco, he's so not James Franco when he's playing Tommy that they could literally be sitting next to each other, and I would never be able to pick out that they're brothers.
Well,
that's a good actor.
This is the first time, I guess only time, they've ever acted together in a movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's kick it over to you, Jerry. Initial thoughts on Room and Disaster Artist.
The Room, I was able to see Out Here in California in a theater after a friend of mine, because he knew that I liked bad movies.
What year? What year?
Oh God, this would have been 2006 or 7.
Nice.
Before somewhere in that. Yeah, it was before RiffTrax. And like I said, a friend of mine had suggested it to me because he knew that I liked bad movies. But man, after seeing it the first time, I was I was kind of like where J-Mac was. Like, what the fuck did I just watch? How did this get made? Who financed this? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, obviously after seeing it many, many times with the RiffTrax, it gives me a new appreciation of it. Like, I look at when I saw it the first time, it was not a comedy. It was in no way a comedy. It was marketed. Oh, no. It was marketed as a dark romantic movie, a dark romance or a dark drama, however you want to look at it. And that's kind of what I was expecting. But man, you can tell that someone who knows nothing about American culture made this movie, because I mean, some of the lines of dialogue made no sense. Some of his reaction.
How about the part where in the beginning in the flower shop, like she didn't recognize him until he took his glasses off?
Yeah, exactly.
It's your favorite customer.
Yeah, my favorite customer that I don't recognize with sunglasses on. Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, I mean, like I said, some of the dialogue, some of the exchanges were so mind-bogglingly bad that at the time, after seeing it the first time, I was actually upset. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you send me to see this? But then, like I said, years later, they did the RiffTrax live in national theaters for The Room, and that was it. I don't want to say I fell in love with the movie, but I have a new appreciation for the movie as a comedy. If you watch it as a comedy, I think you can appreciate some of the subtle, I don't even know if it's subtle humor so much as subtle stupidity. But now I love this movie and I can watch it with or without the RiffTrax. I just watched it last night with the wife, and even though the first 15 or 20 minutes is incredibly painful, once we start getting into the groove of just kind of making fun of it and just asking constant what the fuck was that,
I didn't notice until like the third viewing that the mom's like, oh yeah, so I have breast cancer.
Yeah, she's so nonchalant about a disease that's gonna fucking kill her. I definitely have brain cancer or breast cancer. What?
Tommy, it never comes back.
It's not even the first thing she talks about when she comes through the door. She talks about her shitty brother. Then she's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I have breast cancer. It's like, what?
She's not, that's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
How is that a passing topic? My God. But anyway, yeah. And one that always perplexed me was when Mark and Tommy, or Johnny, excuse me, are on the roof. And Mark tells him that story about a girl that got her ass kicked.
Oh yeah,
and he laughs. He fucking laughs.
That's
it's
a nice story, Mark.
Who laughs at a story about a girl physically assaulted? That doesn't make. This is what I mean about a non-American who knows nothing about American culture made this movie because, and obviously when watching The Disaster Artist, which I'll get into in a second, it kind of explains away a lot of what the fuck Tommy was thinking about, in his thought process, both in the writing of the film and the filming of it. Anyway, point is, yes, I got to see this in a theater a few years after it came out. At first upset, but after viewing it on RiffTrax a few times, it's absolutely a cult favorite to me now. Like I said, I can watch it with or without the RiffTrax. Now, Disaster Artist. Once again, theater watch, because by 2017, at that point, I was totally sold on Tommy and The Room, and just his balls to the walls insanity that I just had to see Disaster Artist. And yeah, that movie I loved instantly. I mean, it may have been like, it's easily a top 3 comedy for me for that year, for 2017. Because I know there was a couple others that I really liked that came out that year too. But yeah, I literally walked out of the theater going, Franco should get a nomination for that. He probably won't win, but he absolutely deserves a nomination. So,
wow.
But yeah, and to this day, you know, I always intended on buying The Disaster Artist, but it's on Amazon Prime, so I can just watch it pretty much whenever I want. So I kind of enjoy it there, and that's easily like a every 6 month or so viewing for me. I love it that much.
I'm with you.
So yeah, I am actually a fan of both of these movies. Go figure.
Gotta get that electric heater on. It's getting a little chilly down here.
All
right.
You East Coasters.
Yeah, boy. All right, initial thoughts. The Room, first time watch for me. Wow. I was not happy with you, William. I was not happy. Sitting there, and the fucking movie starts. Next thing you know, they're fucking. And I'm like, all right.
For 6 minutes, you see his
again. 2 minutes later, I'm like, what the fuck? By the time it hits the 27-minute mark, you already have 5 sex scenes. I'm like, okay, now I know why Bill chose this movie. He's a pervert.
But the funny thing is that these are the most unsexy sex scenes ever. Like, they're not arousing, they're not attractive. There's no redeeming quality. I mean, in that first one, it looks like he's fucking her navel. He's nowhere near her vagina. But that just adds to the comedy. I mean, it's so over the top ridiculous that it just makes it funny as shit.
Yeah, I want to add that I have 3 different riff tracks of this movie. The first one, when they had the sex scenes, because back then riff tracks couldn't do rated R movies,
right? Yeah.
So they would like have someone, the toaster or whatever, like start talking about something else. But then the second time they added the cursing and nudity. Oh, and the third one was live. It's impeccable.
It literally is one of the best live riff track shows out there.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, I was actually watching this movie and sitting there like, you know, I know I've watched a lot of movies in my life, but in the last 4 years, I'd say, yeah, almost 4 years now, I've been podcasting. Something like that. Writing reviews at least 4 years for Horror Talk, which is now Horror DNA. Check out horrordna.com. There's a plug, baby, right there. Get your best horror news, enter some contests, and check out some great unboxing videos from my man Stewie. So, actually, I just got a new article out there today I got to share. So anyway, fuck, I forgot. The Room. Yeah, it fucking sucked. But after watching the Disaster Artist, great film without a doubt. Like you said, a more appreciation for The Room, but a more appreciation for the complexity of Tommy Wiseau's human condition. I mean, dude, I felt so bad for him. Where in the beginning he's just like this fucking creature from another planet.
Well,
he is the fucking villain. You know?
They left a lot out from the book where he was a real douche. It kept some in where like he stopped them from drinking water and shit. But
so that's the thing. That's the thing about this whole thing. I was like, how much of this is true? How much of this is a little exaggerated? What did they hold out? What's in the book? Is, you know, Tommy and Greg still friends?
Yes.
You know, like what exactly
together.
Right.
And what was the name of it?
The Friends Fiends with the R parentheses.
Oh gosh. So yeah, you know, it's it gives you more appreciation, but and then you go back to The Room, and if you're thinking about it, right, like it's like, all right, this guy is taking this movie and basically exposing who he is via this movie, you know? I'm talking about The Room now.
Okay.
The guy obviously was scorned by a woman before. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? I know there's no I don't know, in the book, did you read the book, Bill?
Yeah.
So is that like a definitive thing that he was scorned by a woman and that's what influenced this?
He thinks so. The guy who wrote the book is the guy who played Mark.
Right.
He doesn't know anything about him. It's more than we do.
But like, he never told him along the way anything.
No,
I actually think Greg does know a little bit more than he lets on, but I think just out of respect to his friendship, he probably just doesn't say anything.
I don't know, man.
Tommy says it first.
Shit.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but at this point, it would be hard for me to believe that I know more about Tommy than Greg does.
Right? No, I agree.
So I'd like to think that he knows a little bit something, and he just, out of respect, just doesn't say shit.
Might, but he told a lot of dirt. But you're right. Yeah. They were roommates for a long time. So
right.
Who knows?
I mean, you can take this movie and actually analyze it. That's the crazy part about it. Do you know that?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
For example, his fucking white stallion chariot. That BMW, it's like Cinderella's fucking, it's like he just rolls around in the fucking white BMW like a boss,
Yeah.
Like a pimp.
It's amazing, right?
What about the balls he had
to
like walk up on a fucking movie producer and start talking to him like that?
Oh my gosh, that was nuts. That producer. Yeah. He was already on fucking Act 2 by the time he came over.
Yeah. That Apatow scene, fucking, I absolutely love that shit.
But no, Tommy really did this shit. I don't know. The guy,
I think Tommy really had a lot of this. Somebody could take this script and fucking put their thumbprint on it, meaning give it the dialogue a little more depth, tweak, make it come full circle. And he's got a little something here. Like, it might be wacky, but the football has got to represent something.
The funny thing is that if he took this script and actually made a good movie, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it right now. And right. Millions of people probably wouldn't have seen it. It would have just been another drama that just got buried with all the rest. But because he made something that was so horrendously awful, it's got us talking, almost 20 years later. So, yeah.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, it definitely has some merit to it. It's something that I'm not going to enjoy. It's something that I'm not going to watch for pleasure. It's something that I'll probably never watch again. But it's something that I respect. It's a hard shit. I asked myself why Bill makes us watch this, but then you watch the Disaster Artist. And I think that's without that meta, I don't know, would I be as involved? Would I be as in? Because now that I know more about Tommy the person, and it's like, all right, the things going on between him and Mark, right? And him and Tommy and Greg in real life, and Johnny and Mark are, that girl is their dream, and Greg / Mark taking off with it. And Tommy / Johnny not. You know what I mean? And that football is representative of their friendship that's going back and forth between each other. Or it could be them passing Lisa back and forth, too.
Oh. Hey, wait, that means Denny got her.
Yeah, Denny wants her. He even says he loves her.
Well, tell you the truth. The character of Denny was not supposed to be this. Actually, the actor who played him was older than Mark and Lisa in real life.
But in the movie Disaster Artist, he goes, he's 26.
Yeah. But in the script, he was supposed to be mentally retarded. But
shit.
Tommy never told the actor.
How would a mentally challenged person owe a drug dealer money?
Yeah.
How are they going to fit that in the script?
Oh, by the way, you guys caught that with Zac Efron.
Yeah, right? I was going to say, in the fact that Zac Efron played the fucking drug dealer was awesome.
Well, yeah.
Take shit like this, like, dude, Why is it a spiral staircase? Because it's spiraling out of control.
You're
right.
reading way too far into the room.
I know, like, dude, what the fuck, man?
No, Venom's got the fucking question though. Why would Corky have a drug dealer wanting money?
Yes, exactly. It's probably a good idea that they skip that whole part of the script.
I never thought of that.
Why the fuck did they call it the room? They spend just as much time on the roof.
No, he had a good point for that. He said that a room is neither good or bad. It is just there. Which is kind of
You know what was crazy? I was watching The Room, the girlfriend, what the fuck is her name? Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her, I'm like, she reminds me of the actress she was reminding me of was the one who ended up playing her in fucking Disaster Artist. That girl's on The Sopranos.
Oh, really?
She's Meadows' friend in college.
Oh, I was like, yo, she looks really familiar. Like I just saw her. That's hysterical.
It just, one thing that really bothered me was, and I'm sorry to any ladies who might be listening, but I'm sorry, but Lisa is not pretty. And
I agree.
The whole movie, I'm just like, why are these two guys fighting over this fucking, she's a 5 or a 6 at best.
Right.
Because that
agreed to show her tits.
Yes, that had to be it because she showed her tits in every single sex scene.
Yep.
And of course, all but one of them involved her. So yeah. Oh God. I mean, I just wow. It's kind of like when Hollywood tries to make me believe that Amy Schumer is attractive. Now they're doing it with this chick.
Yeah.
Or Tommy was, whatever. Oh man, God bless him. But yeah, I can't believe in San Francisco you couldn't find a more attractive girl.
Oh, in San Francisco they keep showing the fucking
trolley.
The trolley, but the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what?
Huh.
What?
The bridges between all of them. The bridges between him and her. The bridges. They all have bridges, and they all get burned down by the end when he kills himself.
Spoiler alert!
Whoops. Sorry.
You just ruined it for Jake. Real nice.
I'm gonna ruin it right now. When he picked that TV up,
oh Jesus,
was he like the Hulk? Because that thing looked like it weighed about half a pound.
Yeah, no, it looked like a styrofoam TV.
It's symbolic for him destroying mainstream media.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
How about that?
Oh, by the way, he had a big fit on the set because a crew member farted. And he had a fart phobia.
Phobia?
Yeah. Where he wouldn't even use a valet park because he was afraid that the valet would fart in his seat. So he is so against farting.
Wow.
Yeah. More into his mind. I don't know.
Funny
dude,
too.
I was watching them. Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
I was just going to say this movie is just one big giant fart.
Please don't worry about getting spoiled about him killing himself. Make sure you don't kill yourself by the time it gets to that fucking point.
No, I just got it. In fact, I can. Oh, J-Max question actually.
So, Bill,
this whole movie's against black people.
What question did I have about black people?
Because you said, why is it called The Room?
Oh,
if you put the room backward, it's the more.
A little deep cut for you history buffs out there. Otherwise, if you don't know who the Moors are, then you're probably just calling us all idiots right now.
I just like that when they were playing football, he was dressed like a Hardy Boy.
and he couldn't throw a ball.
Oh my God. But that shit, Franco trying to throw the ball, I guess like he was, that shit was hysterical in the fucking Disaster Artist.
It was.
But even when he meets Apatow, he's like, not in a million years. Then fucking Tommy goes, but after that.
All right. But that's the whole point of the movie. The Room is a movie about a man who was so determined to do this that he had the balls and he did it. So,
well, he had the money.
Well, the money too. I love that. They go to rent the camera.
Fuck, I don't want to lose it.
Even buying the fucking equipment. What's the fuck cost $6 million in this movie?
He probably overpaid for everything. I mean, once people realize that he has money, they're not going to give him a deal on anything. They're going to charge him full price for everything. That's probably why he didn't want to buy water. He was probably getting charged $40 a case.
His personal toilet.
He bought all the equipment. He had to rent that place for over 40 days. He was, you know, it was on day 58 when it finally ended, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but Bill, what did he say about The Room again? Because I think he has a really good point. Say the thing again.
No, he said something like, a room is neither good nor bad. It's just there.
I mean, if you think about it, you know, the room can be symbolic of life. I mean, think about it. Right now, we're all in a room. We're always in rooms. And even if we're outdoors, like say we're out in a park, we're in a room inside of the universe somewhere. Like, think of how vast and huge the universe is, right?
I was thinking more just the apartment because he had a spiral staircase up there. He didn't have any actual like doors or walls. So basically his apartment was a loft, which is a glorified studio apartment. So it's one big room.
And I think we know who smokes weed on this podcast.
I definitely think we do.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, me.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man. And how about that 5 minutes into the movie we get a PF squared. You guys know what a PF squared is, don't you? Pre-fight, pre-fuck pillow fight.
Oh,
PF squared. Pre-fuck pillow fight. They fucking invented an activity. Cuz you know what? When I get horny, the first thing I think about doing is getting into a pillow fight.
Like every sleepover in girls' movies.
Yeah. And they never end in a lesbian orgy. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I do have a new quote on him on the DVD commentary saying about The Room title.
Mm-hmm.
He said, at the time, I thought about a special place, a private place, a place where you can be safe. And it's not a room, but it's the room. I thought, and I think that a lot of people would relate to it. So The Room is a place where you can go and have a good time. You have a bad time at a safe place.
Yeah, that's a room is life, man.
Well, that's a new quote. The other quote was like, it's not bad, it's not good. It's a room. So.
Yo,
I don't know what's worse, Joey getting philosophical or Tommy?
what about fucking Mark and his beard?
Oh yeah,
that was shitty,
Disaster
man.
Artist.
Yo, because watching The Room, I don't even think
you didn't notice that.
Didn't notice it? Yeah, I noticed.
Instantly. Of course, he walks in there like, baby face.
He got baby face.
The party, he's got the full beard like me.
No, but in the movie, Tommy says this is an important part. Like he's going crazy, and you know you're led to think that it's because like he's jealous and everything, which he definitely is. But like, think about what he does in that movie. Like all of a sudden, his character changes, and he becomes the villain. Basically, like he's fucking trying to kill people, throw them off roofs. He's like, yeah. Think about the way he was. What do you mean? No, he tries to throw the fucking friend off a roof.
It was
the psychologist,
Peter.
Yeah.
But no, the guy left and he got replaced.
Bro, the guy fucking turns into fucking. All of a sudden, he's like, in the beginning, he's like, "No, we can't do this." Now he's all of a sudden like, "Yeah, I want you up right. Yeah, I'm gonna get you, baby. Come over to my place."
No, it wasn't really gonna kill him. But dude, there is something important about this.
How do you know?
I don't. You're right. But the beard thing, the Bryan Cranston scene was fabricated. That was not true. That was not in the book either.
Wow, why would they just stick that in there then? I mean, they've already got enough real life shit to make Tommy look like an asshole. Why make something up?
I'm guessing Seth Rogen's people.
That's weird. Yeah. I mean, because I haven't read that book, so I was taking a lot of what was going on in The Disaster Artist as fact.
Right.
And,
No, that part wasn't in it.
Because that was the part that pissed me off like the most at Tommy. Anyway.
Right.
It's like, how the fuck do you do that to your friend? It's like, just wait 3 fucking days and you can shoot the scene.
Right. So,
I should have realized it was totally fake because, it just doesn't make any sense that he couldn't wait, a few days.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'm thinking about this beard. He could have taken it off to try to like change the way he looks because of it's his guilt. Like try to cleanse himself of his guilt.
Damn.
Right?
You are Joey-ing this like crazy.
Oh, call me Joey the Room. I fucking like this movie now.
See? Oh man. Well, and God, we got to get back to these sex scenes, man. These fucking scenes.
All right,
I actually timed them. In the entire movie, there's 11 minutes of sex.
Yeah.
It fucking feels like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because they're so bad at shooting a love scene that you're literally every second feels like 5 minutes. And it's just get it over with. Just please get it over with. By halfway through the second sex scene, it's torturous at that point, and it's just
not only
going on.
Greg Sestero, who plays Mark, he can't watch that to this day. He's like, that is the most uncomfortable scene I've ever done.
It's just so unsexy. There's no chemistry. It just, I don't buy any of it. And of course, Tommy is just terrible at trying to pretend he's having sex.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of sex he has in real life, because if it looks anything like his movie sex, holy shit. Yeah, I feel bad for those girls.
Lots of belly buttons are getting pregnant.
He is tearing some navels up.
But no, Greg Sestero is like, man, I can't even watch that. I have to forward it every time.
I did last night. I had to. It's like, but I timed it. I figured, let me take advantage of the fact that I'm fast forwarding and actually time it. Cause I've always been curious, because the movie's an hour and 40 minutes and it feels like there's 40 minutes of sex.
Yeah.
But there's literally only 11, but it just feels
it's
like
6 with her and Tommy.
It's like one was 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 5.5, 1.5, and 1.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow. That first one, which was the longest one, of course, and it's the most torturous one. I'm right there with you, Joey. After I watched this for the first time, before any of the riff track stuff appeared, I was pissed off. I walked out of the theater kind of upset. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's pretty up there. And obviously, us being horror fans, we've seen some atrocities out there.
Oh, yeah.
Some independent horror garbage that, looks like it costs $500.
Right.
Not even.
And that's the thing about this movie. That's what I said earlier. It has something to it. And you said it too, Jerry, specifically that people have been watching this for years now. We're here talking about it, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that I think he poured his heart and soul into it shows that it does have something to it. I mean, I literally just extracted some wacky ass shit out of it. It's a little bit of a stretch, but at the same time, like I said, you could take it and mold this into something a little more structured, and it could be an interesting story, and maybe not kill Tommy off in the end, because I think that's a cop out. I think killing the main character at the end, unless it's extremely dire, is a cop out, because it just shows that what else are you going to do with your character to make it, something solid? Oh, I'm going to kill him off is the easiest thing to do.
It definitely felt like a cheap attempt to pull at your heartstrings. But obviously, by that point in the movie, you don't give a shit about Tommy. So, I think it has the opposite effect. Most of us probably just laughed.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was so surprised about him killing himself as much as I was him dry humping that fucking dress before he did it. Right?
The woman that just dumped his ass.
The fucking disaster artists, they're like, yeah, but you should do it before you kill yourself. He goes, I disagree.
Check this out. The red dress of danger, caution.
Oh
God.
Oh shit.
It's
Hey,
the
he
red
could've-
dress woman from the Matrix.
Oh, and the rose too is red, foreshadowing. Yo, think about it, bro. He could have given her any color dress. Gave her red.
Mm-hmm. Not white.
And tune in
It's
next
not
week,
stupid.
Slice and Dice, when Joey finds fucking subtext in the back of a cereal box.
There's a lot of social commentary on those boxes, man.
You'd be surprised, right? And I'm going to tell you about the whole metaphorical allegory of Count Chocula.
Yeah, think about those Keebler elves, man. They're being held down, just like the tethered. Repressed.
Yep. Suppressed, tethered.
But
Right?
I will admit to something. When I first saw this, I had no idea that was a green screen on the roof.
Oh yeah, that looks like a matte painting.
Well, now,
Ah.
back then, I was like, that was cool. To find
Ah,
out it
that's
was a green screen, I was like, what? Cool. No, you're right. After multiple viewings, when you see like Greg
Yeah.
Mark's
Well,
face,
I saw it in a theater the first time, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was plainly obvious. Yeah.
Yo, isn't San Francisco the city of brotherly love?
That's
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Oh,
San Fran's a city of poop on the streets. Be careful where you walk.
what?
Yeah, San Francisco is the city of another kind of brotherly love.
Yeah,
Oh,
lots of brothers wanting to love you.
what's the tagline? Is there one?
The
Maybe
tagline
I'm
for
thinking of the San Francisco treat, rice and roses.
That's on Urban Dictionary.
Yes, sir.
We're saving that for Heart Mafia
There you
podcast. That's right. Wrong show. There's enough raunch on this program.
You can look up San Francisco
man.
treat.
But I mean, think about some of the scenes in this movie. Like, there were whole scenes in this movie that were absolutely pointless to the main narrative. Think about the scene with Mike where he tells the story, that underwear story. That whole scene was fucking pointless. It had no bearing on anything.
An
It's-
hour and 40 minutes.
That's what I mean. It's like Tommy could have easily shaved 15 minutes of crap off of this movie, made it a little bit more watchable, just a little bit. And I mean, we would be talking about it so much more highly now, but I mean, there are so many the tuxedo football
I was
scene.
about to say that.
What the fuck? Why am I watching four guys in tuxedos play football? This makes no
Tackle
sense.
Peter in his tux.
Oh my God, Peter! That's another one. The scene where Peter's introduced, we don't actually get an introduction. The scene just starts,
Oh,
and
no.
Tommy's sitting there talking to him like we're supposed to fucking know who he is. And then
Right.
finally, near the end of the scene, he finally says his name. It's like, oh, it's a guy named Peter, apparently. Okay.
Well, then when Mike comes into the party, that was actually supposed to be Peter, but
Oh,
the dude left to do a movie, a real
Ah,
movie.
the smartest
That's
guy.
where
on
Mike
set.
came in. Yeah.
We got a comment in the chat room. It's coming from No More Room in Hell.
What?
Well,
That guy?
It must be your sidekick, Michael Merriman here. Fuck this movie. Just some rich jagoff which had no business making a movie, conning desperate actors into doing the movie. Something you'd watch while you pleasure yourself? The fuck you just say? I guess that was geared to us. Something you'd watch while you pleasure yourself? The fuck?
Maybe he likes Tommy's butt. I don't know.
There you go.
Hey, Tommy's booty.
Yeah, I can't imagine Mike would enjoy this. Mike's not nearly the bad movie aficionado that I am.
I agree. I
Mike's
don't know what
boring. He just likes good movies. Bleh.
but I agree. Bad movies is where it's at.
Sometimes I will admit I even have my line, but The Room, it's just so thoroughly entertaining that I can't hate it. I just can't, as much as I want to.
But I'm thinking, like, the girl who plays Lisa, did she say to herself, like, man, this is gonna be my big break?
Probably. I
I
bet you
better
she
just-
did.
Fucking flash nipples all day long in this because this is
Like-
where it's coming from.
What did she get paid to do it?
Yeah, of course.
Probably why the fucking money thing ended up costing $6 million. He probably threw her a giant chunk of change. Hey, be naked, fucking
Every
you know.
scene here.
have me gyrate on your fucking navel.
Seriously, man.
Hey, you know what I noticed on this watch? And I don't even know why it popped into my head, but did you guys notice in the rooftop scene, Tommy's wearing cargo pants and all the pockets are absolutely stuffed to the brim? what the fuck is he carrying in those cargo
I
pants?
did not.
It literally looks like he's carrying like half pounds of marijuana in his cargo pants. I mean,
That's why Danny's getting beat up.
he's walking around with these completely full cargo pants. I'm like, who needs to carry that much shit?
In Disaster Artist, he just grabs a bunch of random shit and shoves it in his pockets, doesn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he a klepto? Because that would actually make sense.
It was just like scarves and tissues and shit. He just shoved it all in his pockets.
Lisa's underwear, Lisa's bra and panties.
Oh yeah, man.
He probably took the red dress home.
Oh, that was funny. She's like, I wanted to keep that dress.
But to answer your question, Jerry, I didn't notice. I did not.
Mark didn't notice either. Nope.
How about those 36 scenes of takes?
Oh, the 36 takes. Oh, that had to be one of the funniest parts of the fucking whole movie. That was so great. Especially when you're as familiar with the scene as like Bill and I are. Oh, wow. That scene is hysterical.
He wrote it.
He wrote it, and he couldn't. And when everybody on the set recited the line in unison, I fucking lost it in the theater. People were actually telling me to shush because I laughed out loud like a motherfucker. I could not believe that.
It's
shit.
one of the funniest scenes in movie history.
So good.
Oh,
Bizarre,
man.
bro. Bizarre.
You know what's funny? Another thing. Now you know is that when James Franco directed this film, Disaster Artist, he was not breaking character. He was directing with that voice.
Oh man,
he would not break to the point where Seth Rogen's first 2 days he couldn't stop laughing. By the third day he got used to it.
Oh wow,
for real. And then Seth Rogen had his grandma on the set, and she's like, "Oh, where's Jimmy?" And he's like, "You saw him before." And she was, "What?" That was him. She goes, I didn't recognize him.
What do you have, like a prosthetic on his nose or something?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Dude,
but man,
I don't know.
Tommy's laugh to me.
I love his laugh.
Oh my God. I love it. But at the same time, it's like I can feel like an undertone of impending doom in his laugh. It's like I feel like his laugh would be part of a greater incantation that would crack open the gates of hell and destroy us all. Like
it calls Cthulhu.
Yeah, like the whole thing would be all like Latin and Aramaic, and then it would end with
yeah,
and then we'd all be fucked. It'd just be demons everywhere.
I was literally just, I don't know, I just took a rip off the bat, but I just started thinking like, bro, he reminds me of Jesus, bro.
He'd like to think so, yeah.
Yo, think about it. You know, he's got this dream. He wants to see, this guy do good with him. He wants to take him, and he wants to, he's rolling with the vagabonds of society, getting naked on movies, but then the people mock him and they fucking want to crucify him, for making this thing. But in the end, everybody loves it and adores it. Oh shit, he's a martyr for fucking modern day schlock. What do they call that? What do they call that shit? Not bizarro. Like when you accidentally make
something.
It's a long play. It's like you accidentally make like you say like you somehow accidentally stumble upon the cure for something, or you
a happy accident,
or I don't know. But anyway, it's just like is it him actually like honing this fucking stupid movie on purpose?
Dude,
like,
that's what everyone's saying. Was it so genius that it was bad?
The funny thing is, one of the celebrities during that little montage interview at the beginning actually makes a very valid point that if a film director actually tried to make a movie this bad, they wouldn't be able to. Like it took Tommy actually putting his heart and soul into this movie for it to come out as bad as it did. Like this was, a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like an enigma.
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, isn't it the opposite of Jackson Pollock? No, not the no, dude. That's exactly what Jackson Pollock is. What movie did we watch with that?
Ex
Yes.
Machina.
It's just controlled. Yeah, Pollock is just controlled insanity, and that's pretty much what The Room is. Or at the very least, Tommy. Tommy is controlled insanity. He hasn't killed anyone yet that we know of, but we know he's crazy as fuck.
I was thinking of the other guy who draws like boys drinking Coca-Colas in a fucking soda pop parlor. Who?
Oh, God.
Warhol? No, not Warhol. The fuck's that bitch's name?
It's Saturday Evening Post. He did. What's his name?
Oh, Norman Rockwell?
Rockwell, yeah.
That's what
Yeah, I'm an old fuck.
Me too.
No, it's the opposite of Rockwell. But that's the thing. It's, you know, when we talked about Ex Machina and everything and Jackson Pollock and the painting, you know, if he was consciously doing it, it wouldn't be really it. You know what I mean? You have to unconsciously make this piece of art, you know, and it's not like by all the wacky shit happening on set and the fact that he's a wacky person and he's a character, you know, it comes out randomly like this. You know, you cannot recreate The Room. It's almost like you know, a lot of my poetics is based on the cut up. So back in the day, the Dadaists, they were these group artists. I don't know if people are familiar with them, but they were hanging out in Austria, and basically they were like taking newspapers, cutting up words and pulling them out of the hat and making poems at random. So like over the years, that philosophy has been, you know, been passed down. So the you know, the fucking chance and randomness is a big factor in my art. So like right now I'm doing the VHS tapes. You know, I watch a movie, I pop it in, title of the movie, The Wild Bunch, right? And fucking while I watch it, I'm just writing shit. You know, it might be a thing I took from the movie, it might not be. You know what I mean? But like if I wasn't watching the movie and sitting there and writing a poem, this poem could never exist. So that's one version of it. But this is a mega version of that, you know?
Well, Joey, I'm both amazed, honored. Well, I said both, but amazed and honored that you said art. Because it is. It's Tommy's art. It's what he dreamed.
Outsider art. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Outrider.
I mean, before you knew anything about this movie, you would just throw it away as trash. This sucks. This is garbage. You hated it. You were mad. But to him, that was his lifelong dream to make this reality.
Right,
that's his art.
Yeah, no, it's like, dude, that's like, you know, people who fucking usually after they die, you know, then it gets looked back upon like, oh, this was actually really genius.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if he actually geniusly made it. I think this is more of the whole chance and randomness. But because of who he is what makes it what it is. Right. And that's a major part of it. It wasn't like he consciously plotted out every scene to be this way. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
I don't think so, man. I don't know. Wait. With all the actors? Come on.
I know. But on the same note, listen to this. Hear me out on this.
Sure.
Disaster Artist, it was a great movie, correct? Do you agree?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Disaster Artist, was it not a great movie?
It was.
Well, you notice they didn't make fun of The Room. They gave it homage. They just showed what happened to him doing it. They didn't like fucking intentionally make fun of the movie.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you know, knowing Franco and Seth Rogen movies and shit as it was, I was expecting it to clearly just be like a straight up like mocking how ridiculously bad this fucking movie is.
Yes.
And it was more of the story of, you know, these guys chasing a dream.
Yeah. It was showing the human side of Tommy.
Right.
Showing that he's passionate about this dream.
And that makes me appreciate The Room in the sense like these two guys fucking did it. I mean, you know, although this guy had the the deep pockets to be able to do it on his own and shit.
Yeah.
The fact to have actually sat down and said, this is what we want to do, we're doing it, and make it happen. Movie's still a piece of shit I'm never going to watch again, but I could fucking, respect it differently.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's his art. And it made an impact on society right now. It's a huge cult hit. So, like it or not, the movie's making millions a year. Mm-hmm. So, in a way, he won.
Yes, he did.
He got his art out there.
Fuck yes.
And
we're sitting here. We've been talking about it we've been live since 10:30. It's 10 after 12. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked a little long in the beginning, but about an hour we've been chatting about this fucking movie.
Right.
And we've definitely been talking about it more than I hate The Disaster Artist. Sorry. Fucking accent.
It's all right.
No, but so what I was getting to with the whole thing with the outsider art, like, I don't know how familiar you are with that whole thing, but it's like people who are, basically out of their fucking minds, making art. Mm-hmm. Like, not always everybody is literally mentally insane, but there are mentally insane patients, right?
Sure. But they're not usually recognized till after they're dead, right?
Right. Like, well, this is guy Al Carby. He's this documentary that they did a couple years ago. He made like all these collages with like Barbies, like cut up Barbies and all this.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Go.
Wesley Willis, musician.
Yeah, what about him?
Ever heard of him?
Tell me about him.
He's a guy, he was a homeless guy, son of a crackhead mom, mentally challenged.
Did you say Willis Wheeler?
Not Willis.
No, not Willis Wheeler.
Wesley Willis.
Wesley Willis.
Oh,
yeah, he's schizophrenic.
Yeah,
he's diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Well, he's passed away now. But he was a homeless guy on the street with a keyboard, and he would greet his fans by headbutting them. A big old knot in his head. This guy played fucking venues, like he was loved, right up until he died, and then he got bigger. So yeah,
yep.
Wow.
He did the song "Rock and Roll McDonald's." You ever heard that one?
No. I've never heard.
What's that movie about the guy who ate McDonald's for a month?
Was he in any bands or?
No, it was only him. That's the thing. He was still homeless and he was like Edgar Allan Poe. He made money just to satisfy his needs. And then, but he would go out and record stuff and he played venues. And this guy was amazing, but horribly bad, but he tried his best. He was fantastic. I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. Every song sounded the same. He ended every song with "Rock over London, rock on Chicago," and then he'd say some like commercial, like "Milk, it does a body good." Like but dude, he had fans. So kind of the same thing. Outsider art.
Well, but still, the only way I'd go fucking and do this movie again is if somebody was paying me.
Tell you, man, riff tracks. I'm sharing it with you.
For you.
I paid for the riff tracks so I can share it with my friends, right?
Yep.
So my house watching it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'd do the riff tracks if I was with people, but I am not fucking.
Get some beers, get some dudes, do it.
I am not consciously watching this by myself. Never.
Oh, Mr. Class watching.
Oh my gosh.
Cover the
analyze it in modern drama class.
And take their reactions to it. Oh man.
Dude, that'd be
for college, you could show the nudity.
Yeah, I know.
He'll be like, I'll watch Cannibal Holocaust again. You guys watch this.
Yeah. All right. Well, Do you want to rate these puppies? Call it on that. I think we did justice for these movies.
Absolutely.
J-Mac.
I'm gonna make me go first. Disaster Artist. I'll give it like a 4, man. I really enjoyed it. It was funny as fuck. Like, just into the mind of that maniac was awesome. Franco was amazing. All the stars that were in shit, like so many recognizable faces popping up in the beginning when they're doing the interviews, and then even throughout the thing, fucking Hannibal Buress is in there, and other people I'm forgetting right now, but yeah, that was great. And then The Room, because of Joey's PSA on effects of marijuana commentary about it, bumped me up a little bit, so I'll give it a 1.
That's
like
funny.
The end of Disaster Artist, when the fucking crowd starts like laughing hysterically at it as it's fucking playing. I didn't have that experience even a little bit. Like I didn't find the humor in it while I was watching it at all. I could find funny shit. If I went back and watched it now because of watching the Disaster Artist, I'd probably see certain scenes and laugh because I'm thinking about remembering Disaster Artist. But while I was watching The Room straight up, like nothing about it like even spoke as like comedy to me. It was just fucking, other than when he did the fucking chicken noise at one point, that shit legit. I was like, like
that was a legit laugh.
That shit was funny.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
That shit was ridiculous. And then what the fuck was she yelling at Denny on the roof after the drug dealer tries to beat him up? Like, and she says it like 45 fucking times. Like, it's just the same fucking line over and over again. But yeah, man. So that's where I'm at. I'll give it a 1 and a 4.
All right. I'm right above you. I'm at a 1.5 for The Room. It is really a bad movie. It is not something I'll ever want to watch. It's not something I would subject my wife to like J-Mac did. Now, because again, we're rating movies, I mean, the Disaster Artist, I'm also with you, 4 out of 5. I think it's a great film from beginning to end. It's swift. Like watching it, it flew by for me. I was definitely in it, and they work together. Yes, I like watching it together, but The Room by itself, holy shit, it's fucking really ridiculous. But at the same time, it could have been something a little better. It could have been like a 3.5 star movie. I mean, with that much money, you could have had a way better production value.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, it was something. It's something that I would recommend an experience. Do it both together. Like watch them the same night, that would back to back. That's definitely like if you did that in a theater, that'd be fucking awesome,
Yeah.
Because like great, watching Disaster Artist, I was legit laughing out loud, which I wasn't during The Room.
I can't do anything but laugh now at The Room.
Maybe watching it again now might be a different experience, because I've seen artists and we've talked about it, learned a little more about everything. So we'll see. All right, Cortez.
All right. Well, after my initial viewing of The Room, when I saw it the first time in the theater, I would have been right where J-Mac and Joey are. It would have been like a 1.5. Admittedly, I probably didn't see it with a very good crowd, kind of like the crowd in the Disaster Artist who saw it during the premiere. So, they weren't as fun. They weren't, yelling comments and weird stuff. Just everybody in the theater was just deflated. So, yeah, I would have given them a low ranking as well. But after seeing the Disaster Artist and after seeing and hearing RiffTrax riff on this movie multiple times, I absolutely see the comedy in this, and I take it now as a comedy. It doesn't matter to me what Tommy's intention was. If you take this movie as a straight up dark comedy, then I think you'll have a good time. At the very least, you'll have a good time laughing at it, if not laughing with it. So I have a soft spot for this movie. I feel like it has a lot more heart than people give it credit for. And you know, especially like independent filmmakers, I think they can look at this movie and maybe not necessarily use it as a litmus test, but use it as a kind of, if I can make a movie better than The Room, then I'm successful, you know, even if it doesn't. Yeah, you know, so I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5 now. Like I said, just because I have a soft spot in my heart for it. As far as The Disaster Artist goes, absolutely love this movie. There's nothing about The Disaster Artist that does not work for me. The comedy is great. The more emotional scenes are really good. Obviously the performances are great, soundtrack, cinematography. I mean, like I said, there's just nothing that I can really say negative about it. So it's not quite perfect. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
All right. Yeah, just real quick, you know, what you said reminded me of the scene in the diner in the beginning, you know. Dude, that was just such like a heartwarming scene, you know? Like
absolutely. I mean, despite it all, you know, The Disaster Artist is just the story of two friends making a movie. And if you look at it that way, it turns into a nice, heartfelt, you know, comedic little, you know, adventure. And for that, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, lastly, let's get to the man who picked these movies, Mr. Bill Casanelli.
All right. Again, when I first saw it, vanilla, I bought it, the DVD. Oh boy, it would have been a 1. It was boring. It was stupid. I laughed at it. But once I learned about riff tracks, holy fuck. The Room, now to me, I can watch anytime, any day, anywhere. I give it a 3 for the comedic value, the heart in it, and all the everything of this movie. I love it. Now, Disaster Artist, I fucking agree with everything Mr. Venom said. It's almost a perfect movie. Had they added some stuff like in the book that was not put in, I would say a 5. But I've got to go with a 4.5 only because they're adding stuff that didn't happen, like Bryan Cranston and stuff like that. However, now looking back, I wish I would have told you guys to watch it in reverse order. Had you watched Disaster Artist first and then The Room, I bet your ratings would have changed.
What was your room on the rating again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
What was my room on the rating?
You know what I mean? You don't burn out.
I'm giving it a 3.
That.
It's a 3. I love this movie.
Yeah.
Every bad thing about it, I love. I know it's a bad movie, yes, but it's one of my favorite bad movies. So I'm judging this solely on entertainment, and it entertains the fuck out of me. And it kind of almost makes me want you guys to watch Coven and An American Movie.
Well, you got about 3 episodes till you get your picks.
No, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, no more torture. This isn't the Mafia.
It's not.
None of you saw An American Movie?
I started it and gave up.
Anyway. So
yeah.
If I would have put this in the reverse order, would you guys give the same ratings?
I think they probably would have liked The Room a little bit more, maybe.
Possibly. But I had to go with the first movie and then the next.
I think it makes more sense that way because
15 years, yeah, big difference.
I may have had a little more of an appreciation for it, but I'd probably still be like, fuck this movie. And fuck Don for never seeing Beetlejuice because that just popped into my head.
That's coming up soon, sir.
The fuck? Who's never seen Beetlejuice?
Monday.
Yeah. But no, I love both movies for different reasons. And yeah, 4.5 for Disaster Artist.
Tanya must be in a deep sleep. That was a loud one.
I'm trying to mute it when she does that.
And listen, if you didn't know, that was our co-host Tanya sleeping.
Yeah. I have to sneak into my room so she don't hear me wake up. Did I miss the show?
Yeah, you fell asleep in the middle of it.
Yep.
So
there's her cameo.
All right. Good night, gentlemen. It's been great. Not good night, goodbye. I meant it was a good night, gentlemen. That was great. So, next time, J-Mac, what do we got again?
You got Menace to Society and Higher Learning.
All right. Episode 50. We're going with some 90s.
By the time we're done, Bill's going to be dressed like fucking Ice Cube. It's going to be awesome.
You the one with the gold chains or the gold
Get a
teeth?
fucking Jerry Curl and a Raiders hat. It's going to be fantastic.
He's already wearing the fucking Oakland fucking shirt.
Hey, I would pay any amount of money to see Bill in a Kango.
Wearing Adidas, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So we're hitting the 90s for a little old school Singleton, old school Hughes Brothers. And we'll be back in 2 weeks from tonight. April something. It'll be a Wednesday. I don't know. What's the day? Anybody know? Let's see. We got a calendar on our phone nowadays. So,
You know what I just realized, Joey?
yes. What did we realize? I don't know.
I never did the Disaster Artist.
You never what?
I never did the Disaster Artist IMDb.
Oh, well, it's the making of the room. That's all you need to
Yeah, I think they got the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I just realized it's after midnight and it's my wedding anniversary right now.
All right.
Hey, congratulations. Mazel tov.
Toast.
Damn.
All right. We'll be back April 10th around 10 o'clock Eastern, only on the Horror Affiliate Network and YouTube. Until next time, J-Mac, Jerry, Bill, a pleasure. Joey Colombo, we're out.
Peace.
Adios.
Later.